Cezanne?
Yes.
Brownie got all notifications of this meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready? Cezanne?
Yep.
Brownie?
Okay. You should be, you might get a notice on your screen to accept that we're live on YouTube, but we are good. We're just missing Lindia and Brownie at this time.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order at 1:03 p.m. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Let's go to Secretary's report. I need a motion.
A motion to approve the meeting minutes of the board from Thursday, April the 26th, 2023.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, Rick seconds that. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's go into new business. I think we'll save anything that has to do with Lindia toward the end.
Lindia's on. She just doesn't have a picture.
Okay. Well, then let's start with activities. And Lindia, I will ask you to make a motion based on your selections for activities. So Lindia, you may be muted.
Am I?
At any rate, you're good now.
Okay.
So your job is to make a motion for this activities committee. We'll need a second and then we'll approve them, I believe, as a whole. Are you all in agreement with that rather than go through each one individually?
I agree.
Sure.
That's fine.
I
Okay,
agree.
go ahead, Lynn.
I make a motion to approve the committee members for the activities committee.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, Lucy seconds. Any discussion? If not, I'll ask for approval of this motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. So that finalizes the activities committee. Let's move to architectural standards. Rick?
I will make the motion to approve the appointment of these members for architectural standards. The chair, Bill Stapleton. Members, Michael Hargrave, Brian Quick, Mark Salazzo, Larry White, and Edward Flynn, Edward Patrick Flynn. I believe he goes by Patrick.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Ken Swallen seconds. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The Architectural Standards Committee is set. Communication, that's been, oh no, that has not been done. Communications Committee, Ken Swallen.
I move that we approve the following members for the Communications Committee: Lynn Frankel, Chair; Judy Swartz; Bill Stapleton; Barb Guglielmo; Gary Ray; and Fran Goodrow.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Rick seconds that. Any discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Communications Committee is set. Finance Committee, John Mulligan.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the following finance committee members: Chairman Jim Moxley, Mike Reed, Patrick Worms, and John Crown.
Okay, I need a second.
A second.
Second.
Okay, I heard Lucy. Second, any discussion? If not, I'll call for those who are in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The Finance Committee is set. Let's go to pickleball. John Coyle.
I make a motion that the folks listed are approved to be on the pickleball committee.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Who was that?
Was Lindy.
Lydia.
Linda, okay. Any discussion? If not, I'll call the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is carried. The pickleball committee is set. Let's go to tennis. Steve Mara.
Yeah, I recommend the committee as listed in our email for the tennis committee for this year.
Okay, I need a second.
I second.
John Coyle, any discussion? If not, I'll ask for all in favor of this motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Tennis is set. Fitness project team. Understand this is a one-year term. It is not a standing committee. It will go away after a year. It may come back, but the project teams are more ad hoc than permanent. So Lucy,
I make a motion to approve the following members to be on the fitness project team: Brian Quick, Howard Feldman, Sherry Malloy, Marianne Pachelski, Frederick Pekanak, and Paul Grossbeck.
okay, I need a second.
Second.
Steve Mara seconds. Any discussion? All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The fitness project team is set. The compliance committee has been approved already. You see before you the members. That leaves us landscaping, which we propose to Brownie, since he's the only one now that does not have a liaison assignment. Have not heard from Brownie. He is not part of this meeting today. How do you all feel you'd like to proceed with this? We could do a couple things. We could wait and assign the liaison after we hear definitively from Brownie if he's interested or not. We can also assign one of us for landscaping if Brownie declines. So what's your preference? Let's have some discussion as to how to proceed.
Can I ask a question?
Please do.
The members listed here, are they the same ones from prior year?
Well, Cezanne would know. I know Linda Moxley chaired it before. I think Salazzo was on it also. The other three may be new.
Yes, they've all been on the landscaping committee prior. Linda, Moxley, and Mark looked over the landscaping submissions, and this is who they recommend.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
if Brownie doesn't want it, I would do it. I worked with Linda on it before. I enjoy working with her, and I like the landscaping part, so I would do it. So just to let you know.
Okay, so why don't we wait on Brownie, see what his decision is, And if he's amenable to taking it, we will give it to him. If not, we will give it to Lindia.
Well,
Does that
only
make-
if everybody else agrees.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, are we all good with that?
I'm good with
Yep.
it. Thank you,
Sure.
Linda.
Well,
Would we like to
Okay.
have Lindia appoint this landscaping committee at this time?
yeah, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to or not.
Well, I guess the board can appoint the committee and we can decide on the liaison later.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. I will recommend the listed names for landscaping and that, take that as a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, John Coyle seconds. And any discussion? All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. So the landscaping committee is set. The liaison will be determined. Okay, that concludes the committee members. Keep in mind, a little reminder that there's an expectation that an annual plan will be developed for each of our committees that reflect the strategic plan and any other initiatives that you may have in mind for this coming year. The board will look that plan over and essentially approve it, redesign it, or bless it. So with that, let's move to item B, H2B.
Paul, can I say that I will be the formal or informal contact for Bocce also. I know we don't have anybody assigned to them, but since those guys are all my neighbors, they already know that if they have anything that they want to bring to the board, they can come to me. But I just want to let you know we had that discussion.
Okay, do you know Tom Reese?
He's 2 doors down from me, absolutely.
Okay, then I approve your recommendation.
I told them formally or informally if they have anything that they need to bring forward, I'd be glad to do that for them. He's
Yeah.
good with that.
Yeah, that's good. Because
If
we
we
want
want
to
to make
keep
it
them-
formal, that's all right with me too.
No, we'll keep them close by, but I don't see a whole lot of activity that's going
No,
on.
he agreed. He agreed with that. He was good with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, does that sound good with the rest of you?
I agree.
Does.
Good.
Sure.
Okay. Let's go to H2B staffing. So we had some questions at the last meeting. I think Mark forwarded some of the information to you. I'm going to kick this off by, we'll open it up for discussion, but I'll make it in the form of a motion that we accept Mark's proposal to seek out H2B status and funding for Sterling Oaks. So I need a second for that.
I'll
I'll
second it.
second.
Okay. And let's have some discussion now. I'll just start off by saying that I've looked this over. The problem I see is that staffing is critical in Southwest Florida. Number one, the H2B program is not new. It is not novel. We are not the first ones that are trying this out. So Southwest Florida's had some experience with this. Mark has talked with his cohorts in the field and has a pretty confident view in terms of its promise for Sterling Oaks. I have a lot of trust in Mark as a general manager. He's making this recommendation to us. So after looking it over and having some of the questions answered, I'm inclined to make the recommendation and move forth on this, but I need to hear from the rest of you.
All right, Paul?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I talked to Mark yesterday, sent him some emails back and forth. I talked to him. I asked him, I go, what do you, Nicole, want? What do you think is best? And he said they both agree that this is the best for us at this time. I also asked him, okay, have you talked this over? Not that you had to, but have you talked this over with your current staff? And he said yes, and they are in favor of it. They need help. And, you know, one suggestion was, let's just raise the wages for our current ones and future ones. And, you know, as Mark said in the meeting, raising it a little bit's not going to help us, because a lot of the people that would take this are now going to a lot higher paying jobs like construction, et cetera. So as you said, it's not new. I've seen it different places. I go to, you know, Pelican Bay, a lot bigger. They have it a lot, and other places I've gone to. So I'm also in favor of it. And as you said, Mark and Nicole think it's best, and I respect their opinion also. And the cost right now, even if we have to add a couple thousand onto that for possible travel, if they leave or something like that, will still be less than what we're paying now for it.
Yeah, that was the point I wanted to make. We're currently paying Indeed, closing in on 15,000 a year, just between maintenance and tennis and office staff and food and beverage. That's quite a sum of money, and that's more than what we would enter into this project. So that also made sense to me. Let's hear from someone else.
Hi, it's
Rick.
Lucy.
We'll
Go ahead,
do Rick, then Lucy.
I would agree too. I was quite impressed by the response to Mark's questions, actually the day after our meeting, which I thought was timely. He wasn't dodging any questions, and it seemed to come up with solutions, rationale for why we should be doing it, and anticipating any objections, some of the pitfalls that were potentially there. I don't see any of them. I also got the impression that it's something we should move on right away. We don't want to wait on this too long. That's kind of where the message was coming from Mr. Fabian. I'm all for it.
Okay, Lucy.
Yeah, similar to Rick's comments and John's comments. I think the fact that Mark went out and Nicole went out to the current staff to ask for their opinion on it is really, it closes up the questions that I would have had. So if we've got good foundation around the program and we've got support by the administration and the staff, I think it's a good move forward. We're not committed for a long time. We're committed for a season, and we can see what happens.
Okay. Steve.
Yeah, I totally agree. If Mark and Nicole are for it, they know our staff, they know our situation, they know our operation, and I think we should just go along with their recommendation. I totally agree.
I have
Okay.
some questions. I have a couple of questions here.
Go ahead, John.
Well, first, from the research I did, we're going to guarantee these folks 35 hours a week, whether they work it or not. If it's a rainy day, we're still going to pay them. Do we pay our current employees if it's a rainy day and they don't have to come to work?
That I don't know. Cezanne, do you know that answer?
No, they're paid by the hour.
And if it's a rain out, then they don't get those hours. However, these people we're bringing in, we're guaranteeing them 35 hours a week.
I think Nikki and Mark do their best. If it's a cold day downstairs, they'll open up the dining room upstairs. So they're all in season. Everybody's definitely hitting over that 35 hour mark.
Okay. And then my next question was, if we had a hurricane or some other event that came along and shut us down for a while, not only are we guaranteeing to pay these folks, but there's this rule that came out a year or two ago called the 3/4 rule. So suppose it shut down our food service for the entire season. Now it's not hurricane season, obviously, so it might be a moot point, but we guarantee 3/4 of their pay for the X number of weeks that we contract to pay them. So do we understand that we're guaranteeing to pay these folks, whether they're working or not? And we don't guarantee our current employees those 35 hours. if there's any kind of event, it's a catastrophic event or something that would cause us to close down food service. As long as we understand that there are additional costs, and there's also a considerable amount of reporting costs that are going to be tied in here, filling out all the government paperwork and all the Department of Labor paperwork. Hopefully Mark understands all of this, because that's hours spent not only recording all the money that they make and the money that they put away, but there's a tremendous amount of other recording points that are brought out in this paperwork that I went through. What I did was I went to the East Coast and I looked at the biggest H2A and H2B employer or law firm over there, Harris Beach. And they listed 26 different things that we are responsible for. And you hit on some of them already. You hit on the transportation, and if you kick them out, you're going to pay for them to go home. You're also paying transportation for them to get where they are now to work for us, the cost of transportation. We're also guaranteeing them food, $15.88 a day. That's the minimum. And on top of that, we have to guarantee that we're paying these folks as much or more than our current employees. So if Jimmy's making $18 an hour, then these 4 people that we bring in, they're all making $18 or more per hour. As long as we understand all of this, there's a lot of hidden costs that we're uncovering here. And hopefully Mark has gone through all this prior to making his recommendation that we do this. I do not know. So those are my questions.
Okay.
I,
All well noted.
can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
So I'm not opposed to the program. I do think that the main reason I'm not opposed to it is because I think our staff is really overworked. And if we have another season of illness and people having to be out of work and not being able to be staffed during season, that would not be good. I think another season like we had this year would be tough on people. So I guess I'm looking for an answer, and this might be one. And I appreciate John's questions because he really brought up some very good points to consider too. But I guess I'm going to be in favor of it.
Okay. Well, we can see how this flies. I have a lot of trust in our general manager. In my opinion, he's one of the best in Southwest Florida. We're pretty fortunate to have him, and I trust his judgment on this. He's been around the system for quite a while, and John raises some issues that we'll have to monitor. So based on how things go, we're not wedded to this program forever. If it goes well, it could be quite a boon for Sterling Oaks, just in terms of service alone and resident satisfaction. So I'm sensing that a majority of the board is in favor of this. I haven't heard much opposition. Any other discussion? Can we hear from anyone else? Okay, if not, let's call for the motion. All in favor of this motion to move forward on H2B, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, John Coyle, let that be noted. With that, the motion passes. And we can move on to announcing, well, date of the next board meeting, we have to see. I've had extensive discussions with Mark about what's coming up. There isn't a whole lot on the horizon. So we're going to announce the next meeting at some future date. We may skip the one in May. depending on what's brewing and what comes up. We'll have to see. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Rick
Second.
moves, Ken Swallen seconds. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, gang. We did this meeting in under a half an hour. That's got to be a record. Okay, thank you very much.
everybody. It might
Thank
not
you.
be
Guys,
For a
bye.
couple months, so
Thanks.
have a great summer.
Have a good summer.
Bye.